This video begins with the wheel carrier already removed from the vehicle. For additional assistance with that task, please follow the link provided at the end of this video. With the carrier on your bench, the first thing you will need to do is separate the flange, red arrow, from the carrier, blue arrow. The axle flange is a press fit into the inner sleeve of the wheel bearing indicated by the blue arrow. You want to set up your press so you are only pressing out the flange, blue arrow. You do not want to press out the outer bearing ring, red arrow, at this point, or you will have a heck of a time getting the flange out of the bearing. Support the wheel carrier in your press so that it is level and that you have enough room for the flange to clear the bearing and the carrier while you are pressing it out, red arrow. Make sure you are pressing straight down on the wheel flange only and press it out. The inner bearing race will come out with the flange, blue arrow. It will also destroy the bearing, red arrow, but that is okay as you are replacing it. You will need to get the bearing race off of the flange. If you're lucky, you can separate them with a bearing splitter. Our flange was on so tight that I had to take it to a suspension shop and they used an air chisel to get it off. Use a 13mm socket or wrench and remove the 4 bolts holding the plate on the outer bearing face, red arrow. Now support the carrier level and with enough height for the bearing to clear, blue arrow, and press out the bearing using the outer ring as noted earlier. This is what the wheel carrier will look like with the bearing pressed out. Check inside the race and make sure there is no damage. Marks from pressing in and out of the bearing are expected, but not grooves or signs that the bearing was attempted to be pressed in at an angle. The magnets for the wheel speed sensor are built into the bearing. Use a bearing magnet locator, red arrow, to make sure you are installing the bearing in the right orientation with the magnet side towards the sensor opening. If possible, place the new bearing in a freezer overnight. Then, with the wheel carrier level and properly supported, press the new bearing into the carrier. Make sure that you are pressing on the bearing using the outside race. If you use the inner race, you will destroy the bearing. Press the new bearing in until it is flush with the carrier. Install the backing plate and torque the 4 plate bolts to 37 Nm or 27 foot-pounds. The bearing should be flush on the rear of the carrier. Now support the inner race, red arrow, to press in the wheel flange. With everything level, straight, and supported, press the carrier onto the flange. Installation is the reverse of removal. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and check out another video in this series.